Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Friday, and all of today's guests, including Bruce Boudreau, standing by. Brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Enjoy pet-friendly accommodations, complimentary on-site parking, and a flexible 24-hour cancellation policy. Choose from oceanside views with spacious double queen or king rooms. Call them directly, 250-248-8333, or visit BaysideResortParksville.com and book your winter escape today. Canucks lose 5-1 to the Kings last night.
Yep.
To begin a homestand, joining now from the NHL Network and TSN, former Canuck head coach Bruce Boudreau. Thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Oh, no problem. Hey, I don't mind doing this when my ass isn't on the line.
What are you seeing from your old team, Bruce? What's going on?
I mean, I was listening to the game last night because I was doing the Caps game in Washington, but it sounds like there's not a lot of energy on the team right now. So, I mean, I haven't watched them play too often. I watched them play against Toronto, and they looked great. I didn't get to see them against Winnipeg, and I didn't get to see them last night. Like I said, I listened to them on the way home, but that was it. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but you know what I was thinking today is, I mean, one of the things, that's dried up is their scoring. I mean, you're not getting a lot of goals. That's just not Miller and Pettersson. It's, I mean, Besser's dried up. Garland, who was going great guns, I thought, all year and still plays with a lot of jam, but he hasn't scored in a little bit, or he's scored sparingly. And then who's the other guy? Who'd they get from Boston? What's his name?
DeBrusk. Yeah.
DeBrusk, who went great guns there for a while, is suddenly dried up. So I mean, when you're looking from all your offense from Quinn Hughes, it's puts a lot of pressure on playing good defense, and that sometimes becomes a problem.
You came out of the chute saying energy is an issue, Bruce. How does a coach go about, or can a coach do something to create energy for a hockey team, especially with the Canucks, Bruce? At the start of the games, they've been awful.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what? The only thing from afar, and listen to me,
yeah.
When I say I haven't talked to any Canuck player, any trainer, anybody from Vancouver, I think you guys are the last guys to talk to. But it's just the white noise might be that's surrounded this team for a little while now. It might get them, depressed until they get into the game. I don't know, but they certainly, listening to it last night, it didn't sound like a guy like JT was all that interested. I didn't hear Pettersson or Besser's name very often. I mean, the only guy you hear his name all the time because he's got the puck when he's on the ice is Quinn Hughes.
Yep. What was JT Miller like to deal with when you were with him, Bruce?
I mean, I like JT. I mean, you just got to me, you have to understand where everybody's personalities are. And he wears his heart on his sleeve. And sometimes it's a real great thing. Sometimes when things aren't going well, it doesn't look as well. But I mean, he was easy to talk to, I thought. It was, but I mean, he's a totally different alpha type guy than, say, whoever, a quiet guy, whether it be Quinn Hughes is really quiet, and Pettersson is really quiet, like the Sedins were really quiet, sort of, but Miller wants to be on. He's a pretty wears his heart in his sleeve. Yep. I'll tell you a quick story of example. When my last year was there, we were struggling on the power play early, and I was asked politely by management to get a couple guys off the penalty kill, and so we started practicing without those guys, and JT came up to me and said, "Hey, listen, I want to be on this penalty kill. I'm part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution." Like he wants things to happen. And I mean, he was insistent. And I mean, he got an awful lot better at it from that moment on, it seemed. But I mean, he wants to win. He's very caring. Sometimes he goes a little overboard with it, but I mean, it's all in that he cares about the team and cares about wanting to win.
Bruce, are you surprised where we are today with Pettersson and Miller? They might trade them. They're taking calls on both. They haven't had a great relationship, both of them, over the years. Are you surprised we're at this stage with these two really good hockey players?
Yeah, obviously I am. I mean, you knew there was a little friction there for a couple of years now, but I mean, man, every team, you don't hear it as much as hear it in Vancouver, but every team has some guys that have a little friction. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think in the 18 years that I played, I mean, wasn't necessarily get along or go to dinner at everybody's house every night, during the course of the season. But once you put the uniform on, you're part of a group that plays and fights together and keeps together. And I think they do the same thing. For sure, they play hard with each other. Hell, they were on the same line when I was coaching, and I mean, they had 2 great years. Like, I mean, so I mean, it's just a question of sometimes. I mean, we have different tastes, and but I mean, that noise in Vancouver gets louder and louder every day, and they're 2 great players, and I think you can win with both of them. I just don't know why it's not working there.
Do you think both players have it in themselves, especially Pettersson? He's only 26, Bruce. He hasn't had a good 9 months. But you coached him. Do you see him getting back to that 100-point guy?
Well, I think he is. Like, I mean, I can only go by my memory with him. And my memory is he's a fantastic hockey player. He's got incredible vision. He's got a great shot. He's got all of these things going for him. I think part of the reason last year that he didn't have a good year, like, I mean, boy, he was playing with Mikheyev most of the year, and somebody else that wasn't named Besser, and so I mean, struggling because he didn't have I think the greatest line mates. But I think he's a great hockey player. I mean, and I'm not involved anymore. But if I was on any team, I would want him on my side because I think he can be a true number 1 center on any team, as I do JT, and I think that's probably they both want it, and there can only be one of them, right? So it's a problem.
Hey, Bruce, you said something earlier that I wouldn't mind building on, and that was that you said that management said something about your penalty killing when you're in Vancouver. How unusual is that around the National Hockey League that management would get involved and say something to a head coach?
I think they make suggestions all the time. All management teams make suggestions. I mean, I think you have to talk to the management on a daily basis. They make some suggestions like that are really valuable, and you sit there and you go, oh, man, I didn't see that. That's a great thought and way to think it. And then they make some suggestions that sometimes you scratch your head and you go, I can't do that. That seems pretty stupid to me. And you don't do it. But I mean, it was a suggestion when our penalty killing was at 60-some% that these guys aren't any good at it and take them off. And so I said, well, you know what? We aren't any good at it, so I'll see what happens if we take them off. And we would take them off at the start, but we would end up coming back. And you look now, and it's still. I mean, Miller kills penalties, Pettersson kills penalties. I mean, so I mean, it's nothing that I was just throwing out there. I mean, these guys are still doing it, but I mean, when you're going wrong, you got to find answers, and you take suggestions from anywhere. And it just so happened that, like, I would get suggested a lot of things to change when I was coaching there.
Hey, Bruce, one more. You mentioned you worked the Caps in Ottawa last night. Goal 874 for Alex Ovechkin, who you coached for a significant amount of time. How much fun are you watching his chase of Wayne Gretzky and a Capitals team that's number 1 overall? The
Capitals, I mean, you don't see them out west, but I mean, they're a great team. I mean, And when I say great team, I mean they got four lines that can defend all the time. Their goaltending is outstanding. They should have lost last night again, 4 or 5 to 1. But at the same time, Logan Thompson has been outstanding. There's a guy that's going to get a definite big hike in pay. I think
Yeah.
he's making the minimum this year. And so, I mean, but they've got four lines. They can move the lines around. And there's a lot of times you look and like, unlike say Vancouver, when if they don't get their big guys scoring, they're not depending on their third and fourth lines to score too often anyway. I mean, these guys, if Ovi's not scoring, then you get somebody, Protus will be scoring, or McMichael will be scoring, or Dylan Strome will be scoring. I think they've got the most 10-goal scorers, and they got 30-point guys. I mean, they've got balance where they don't need their best players to be their best players every night to win. And they're getting, like I said, great goaltending. John Carlson is still John Carlson. They're getting great play from everybody, and they're big and they're fast, and that's a great combination to win.
Okay, Bruce. So when you get your next coaching job in the National Hockey League, you don't listen to management, you don't listen to ownership, you only listen to the media. Okay? Next time.
That's done me really well so far.
Thanks for this, Bruce.
All righty. Have a great day.
Yeah.